Okay, this video is going to start out a little different from our normal ones. I am using 3 pencils by Grizaye, and it is Sunburst 022, Blue 038, and Geranium 004. Now, our challenge for October in Coloring Books Keep It Clean on Facebook is going to be coloring a page using just 3 primary pencil colors. Okay, so that's why I've pulled these 3 pencils, and what we're going to do now is to go through and just experiment and play and then start coloring a page using just those 3 colors. So let's get started. Let's see what we can do with our pencils first. And some of you remember watching the video that I did with Evie where we did mix some colors, but we did not go beyond just a rainbow and brown. So let's see what we can do. Now, if we want to do, because we're going to be doing sunflowers, the yellow, if I add red, and I am like barely, I'm going to go way back on the pencil so that I am barely touching my paper. Because what if I want the tips or the part closer down around the circle to be darker? Okay. Then I'm going to come back in, and as I blend this, I'm going to get that beautiful orangey color that I want. Okay? Now, let's say for the center, I want to get, and these do use down quickly because they are that soft. But let's say for the center then, you know, there's that outer center. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and do the inner center too. We'll just do an inner piece right here. We're just doing a mock-up to see what we can do with our pencils. And then also, let's say there's a leaf, okay? And we're trying to make green on that leaf. The only way to get green with the 2 pencils that I know of is to go ahead and start in with yellow and then to add that blue, okay? So in that case, we're going to take and start with the yellow all over, just like I've done here, okay? And then we're going to come in with the blue. See, I'm heavy-handed, so I'm going to scoot back even further because I don't want this to turn out all blue. I do want it to be green, and that's why, even if you can't draw, just put some color on your paper. Okay, just get some color on there. Then I'm going to come back with the yellow. I'm going to mix these 2, and I'm going to get a green. And we will be more careful when we're actually on our picture. But then I want to see how far down to green can I make it. So I'm going to go down a little bit more. And then get lighter as I come out. Excuse me, croaky still. Hey, at least the coughing is a little bit less. Okay, and see now I'm getting even more green. All right. Then we were saying the outer circle, it's got some yellow and green and even some brown on it. So when you mix all your colors, you're going to get the brown. So let's work on that brown. This is one of the few times where you'll actually see me doing it on scratch paper first. So we have some of that green, and then we're going to move into the brown. And brown is not an easy color to get. You're going to have to play with this until you reach the shade of the color you want. And brown is quite literally all three mixed together. And I will use my lightest shade to blend. And also when you're doing a page like this, it might be that it doesn't turn out like a regular page would. Okay? Don't brush it with your hand because you will streak stuff across. Get you a big fluffy brush. Just use it. Something from the Dollar Tree is fine. Okay, and then if I want the green in this center area, I'm going to come back with blue and just do it ever so lightly so that I can get that green center. Use your layers, go lightly. See how we're already getting a green? And then I don't want to go too far on the blue, so I'm going to come back and blend again with the yellow. Okay, now what other colors can we get? What if we play with the blue? And see, I'm holding back still. And I'm just putting a light layer on here. So when I'm doing a background, I could do that. And then anywhere where I want a darker blue, I can come in and go darker. And then if I want it even a little darker, now this is going to turn towards the purple. But then if I go back and forth with it, I will get that deeper blue. Alright, what if I want a light purple? Something more on the red side. Okay, that's on the blue side. What about on the red side? I'm going to come in here with this. This is going to be more of a red purple instead of a blue purple. Can you see how that's got more blue in it? This one is going to have a little bit more red in it. Once you learn to recognize your colors and what their base colors are, you can start mixing all your colors around. Okay? All right, let's stop that. Let's go to the book. So, and I should have pulled something easier, but I pulled Circle of Life. And I've got this beautiful sunflower. To save time, I have already done the yellow. And I've got a pencil sharpener close by. I am going to keep a good point on my pencils for the most part. Now, let's look at the outside here. I want some red added down in here, or some browns. So let's start in a spot that's not going to show as much to practice. Okay, down in here is where it would be darkest, right? Think about it. It's what's in the very background. Okay, so we're going to get that in there ever so lightly. Then I'm going to come back with the yellow. And now I have that orange color. What if I want even more, though, that looks like more of a brown? Okay, then let's bring in some blue. Let's do these little bits way back in here that you really can't tell what they are. Just get a little bit on there of that blue. And then we're going to add the yellow to blend. Okay, so now that is just a little bit darker. So let's come up a little bit. Let's come up to here and see what happens when we add just a little bit of the red. Now I am barely touching the paper. Can y'all see that? I mean, it's like I am afraid of touching down too hard. I am going so light on this, but it's because I want to be able to blend. If you have pencils that are softer, this is the time you want to pull them out, because this is where the blending is easier if they are a softer pencil. And again, I am barely touching. If this was my paper, do you see how if I push hard, I get an indentation on my finger? I am pushing like just barely touching. Okay, so barely touching our paper, just barely. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper right here. I'm still going to be coming back with yellow to blend this. Let's go down here, same thing, and just a little deeper, and then light as we come out. I'm almost blending it right now, okay? Where this one overlaps, we know behind that is going to be a little deeper. So let's just come around here and add a little bit of that in there. Sunflowers are not typically just all yellow. And this is where we want to show some of that depth. We want to show what's behind, what's in front. All right, these two are overlapping this one. This is where you really want to pay attention to what is where and the different levels. What's in front, what's behind. Okay, and I'm going to do this, just fade it out to nothing. If you can't see me coloring on the page, then that means I went to nothing enough. All right. But we do want those different values, those different tints, the different degrees of orange in there. We want everything to have just a little bit of that orange on there so our page doesn't go all yellow. Okay. And we'll pull back in a minute and look so that you can see the difference. Some people don't see it. That's okay. It's just the way our eyes are. Some people see it easier. Some people have a really hard time seeing it. What's in front, what's behind, and all that type thing. All right, so now then, and some of this almost looks pink. Let's come back in with our yellow and let's do some blending. Let's really get this blended. Okay, so can you see how this is a light orange and this is yellow? All right, and it may not be showing up as much orange for you. Let me put a little bit more red in here and let me mix again. And this is why some people call colored pencil painting. Because when you're really getting in there with your different shades, it is like painting. You are mixing colors. But that is beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and do some more out here. I'm really bearing down now. My heavy-handedness is fine. I'm going to go ahead and get these done in. See how that blended nicely though? It's got like between a red and orange going on. And we really have these different shades coming through. There we go. Yeah, so if you're in the book on Facebook, in the group, on Facebook called Coloring Books Keep It Clean. Look for a page that you're going to be able to use just these 3 pencils on. Don't care what brand pencils. I just want you to use 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 blue. And see what you can do with a page. Because I've been having to go back and add some of this, I'm going to add some to start with. We'll see if it makes any difference if we add it to start with or at the end. I know I want that deeper. Those are way back in the back. Can I even add a little bit right there? Yeah. Just really blend them well. Blend your colors, take your time. I mean, you can see I already came in with yellow base done one time, just real lightly. And you can see how long it's taking to get this done. So don't think this method is something that is fast. It is not. This is to help you learn more about mixing colors and what happens when I don't have the color I want. Then you start playing with mixing. Look at that, okay? Now, when we come back out, can you see the difference? Look at this right here versus this over here. All right, let's look a little bit at this. Okay, as we know, the centers of sunflowers can be brown, they can be green, they can have all different shades. Now, typically, if the sun is coming from the top area, I would make this a little bit lighter than the bottom. And what I want to do is make this yellow, orange, brown, and green. I would love to put it all in there. Okay, so my yellow is right here. This is going to be my orange. Coming around. And then this is actually going to turn into my green over here. And go straight into brown pretty quick. Brown is going to be where they overlap. Okay, stay with me. Stay with me on this. This is one of those videos you watch before you do, because it can be a little confusing. Now we're going to go from the red there into the blue again, because we would like to get a brown. All right, into the blue again. Now I'm going to bring in my yellow, and I'm going to blend everything, and we're going to see what kind of hot mess I have. Okay? So we know this is the yellow through here. Then we're moving into the orangey red. If we go this way, we're going to move into some green. And I can tell you already, I need a little more blue on that. I'm just not happy with the lightness of green that it is. And see, I've got my pencil almost laying down. I'm almost laying down using the side. Come back in and blend that. See, now I've got some sort of green going on. Then I'm going to move into the brown. Moving into brown. Over here, the red and orange is going to be moving into brown. Just play with it. These pages we're going to have such an array. If everybody will just try to tackle one of these, we will have so many fun pages show up on our group. Okay? Now, when I come back out, you can see there are different colors in there. 3 pencils. Let's go a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Make it browner. More brown? However you want to say it. So I just added some more blue. I'm going to add some more red. And then I'm going to come in again with my yellow. My yellow is my lightest shade, so that is my blending color. Okay, from where I am, that's looking pretty good. Now for that center, I want it green. So I've already done just a sloppy color through on there. And I'm going to come in with the blue, because blue and yellow make green. You notice I've always done the light color first. You can always go a little bit darker, but once you've started with the dark, it's hard to pull it back to light. See, that's already turning green. So if I want it a little darker at the base, I'm going to go even more. Now, did you see that? I pulled up on my pencil some. I have a little more control over it. And I'm going to come in and do more blue at the bottom area coming around. That's going to give me a little more green down there. Now I'm going lightly here, ever so lightly. I'm going to come in with my yellow, and we're going to blend. Just blend it. Okay? Got it? Okay, let's look up here. Same type thing going on here. We've just got a few minutes left, so I want to do this just a little bit. So when you're trying to make the green, which we already talked about, adding blue makes the green. When you look at a sunflower or any type of little sapling, anything that's growing up, anything that's under the ground is usually going to be brown. Anything above is generally going to be green, unless it's like our grass and the Texas heat and it needs lots of water. Then it may all be brown. Okay, now I did that darker, and I did this darker because there's a little flip there, so that is going to be a little bit darker. Now I'm going to go lighter through here. So this is out on the tip. A little bit darker as I get here. And see, that's already going towards the green some, so that is good. Okay, back with the yellow. Let's get this mixed, get our green. If it's not green enough, what are we going to do? We're going to add more blue. So if I don't think those are green enough, I'm going to come in here and very lightly, very gently pour in some of the blue. Just go ahead and put it in there. It can be a little darker back here, lighter as you get to the tip. Lighter as we go out. All right, yellow one more time, just to be sure we're mixing well. There's our green. Tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing this page done. There's lots of times I don't finish pages right away, but I can see this page being a lot of fun. I just can. All right, so here's our grass or the ground, whatever is on top of the soil. Now, all this is going to be brown. We don't want our browns all going together. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come in with red first on the root system. And we're just trying this. We're trying this together. We're going to see what happens if I do red first here and blue first on the soil. Will it make a difference? I do want my soil to be darker than my root system. Why do I say that? Because I looked a picture up on Google and that's what it showed me. Okay, so I did the red first. Now we're going to take and do the blue. Let's just work on half of this so that we will have time to get it done. And this could be dirt clots or seeds or whatever. So don't worry about that too much. Now, we're doing this first, but we can still go over the red because we're doing it second, right? So we don't have to stay in the lines as much. We just don't want to bring that red out into that blue yet. We want to put it on second. Yeah, this is an experiment. I did not do all this ahead of time. All I did ahead of time was what you saw on that piece of paper when we were playing. So we will see together. Now, we're going to come back with the red because we did blue first. And now we're doing red on the soil. And we're going to see if that changes the look between the roots and the soil. Just putting a different color on first. Used both colors, but we put a different one on first. Will it make a difference? We are fixing to find out. Sports fans, we are fixing to find out. So then we're going to come back with yellow, and we are going to start blending the soil. Let's get the soil. And that to me is not going to be brown enough yet. Okay, that's just too much yellow on it for my liking. But we're still trying to see if it matters which one we did first. Then I'm going to come in and do the roots. I'm not sure it mattered. So I do want the root system darker. I am going to come in with some red and get all that done. I do like these pencils. I really wish they had sent me the set instead of just 3. Yeah, this is a good pencil. Now I'm going to come in with some more blue. Still working on the soil. Yeah, I know I went out of the line there. I'll fix it later. Okay, and our time is almost up. I actually set a timer this time. Oops, there's my timer now. Let's add a minute because I know I had a little bit of time extra. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go darker. See what happens. I don't want to turn it blue, but I would certainly like a nice brown. Is that possible? I don't know. I'd like to think so. Maybe not with the hurry I'm going in, but I do think it's obtainable. Yeah, see, now we're getting more of a dirty color, more of the browns. So this is something I will definitely keep working on, just layering my colors back and forth until I get it as dark as I want it. And then I can come back in after I get the back done. And it's already been a minute? Oh my goodness. Okay. After I get this dirt done in the brown that I want, I can come back in then and work on the actual root system. Okay? Okay, so what do you think? Would you like another page done sometime that shows all this again? Maybe using some purples. I think it's just a good way to get your education going in mixing colors. But anyway, that's all I have for this time. I'm going to keep working and playing with this, and I will see y'all back in a few days. Bye-bye.